Well, thanks everybody. We'll get started here. We're going to walk through the 3 steps to successfully grow your Toastmasters Club virtually. And I'm Michael. I'm a member of Yes and Toastmasters Club founder, co-founder actually. One of the other co-founders is here, Noel Gannay. We also have Garrett Gray. And today I'm going to share with you some things that I learned through that process of building that club. Also, what I've learned from the past clubs I've been involved with. I've been a Toastmaster for 5 years. And Toastmasters is life-changing, as you know. And now we've got an interesting challenge in front of us with COVID-19. So growing our club virtually is ever more important. There we go. Okay, so I want to go through a couple learning objectives, some things we're going to cover today to hopefully by the end of the day, you'll have these down. We'll talk about how to build awareness that your club exists through some digital marketing. Big key to making sure that people know that you exist is through, you'll have to do so through marketing. So we need to make people aware that you're out there, that your club is there. This goes for virtually and when things are back to normal as well. We've got to find ways to make the public aware that you're there, make that audience aware. We'll also talk about how to provide a clear path for people to access, register, and attend your club meetings. Especially here with Zoom, we'll talk a little bit about that, or any kind of virtual platform that you're using, making sure that they have a way to access, register, and attend those meetings, very important. If you don't provide that clear path, it's gonna be that much harder for them to join. So if you're not getting members to attend, maybe you need to look at the way that you are actually providing access to them. We'll talk about how to close and how to get new members as part of in your club and making that process a little bit easier. We'll talk about PayPal, we'll talk about following up, we'll talk about a few other things that you can do to close the deal and make that easier. We'll also talk about drip marketing, how to nurture, engage your guests. I'm actually gonna do a live demo to show you how to create some emails. And I'm actually gonna provide you with some resources with some emails that we use, and you can take them, tweak them, and make them your own. I'll provide you with a link so that you can download those. And then finally, we'll talk about a little bit about PayPal and how you can make payments a little bit easier. For our agenda, we're going to talk about the 3-step method for building your club. I call it the AAC method. So I'll talk about that in a moment. We'll talk about how to build awareness through social media, and we'll go through some of the platforms that we use at Yes and Toastmasters, and also some other options as well. We'll talk about how to provide access to your club meetings, making it easy, making that path very clear for your audience to attend and join your meetings. We'll also talk about how to close. And again, this is making it easier for members to join, make it as easy as possible. And then finally, we'll do some Q&A. So we'll have some discussion if we have some time. And I'd like to hear from everybody in their questions and maybe some of their experience that could help some of the others in the webinar. And then finally, we'll do next steps. We'll provide you with some tools that you can use to help build your club. Okay, so the AAC method, this is about awareness, access, close. It's a very broad overview of what you want to do, but really simply the goals are awareness. You want to make them aware that your club exists. And I know it sounds simple, but if you're not posting on social media, if you're not reaching out to people, if you're not talking to the newspaper, all those things, then nobody will know you're there. They may have heard of Toastmasters, they may not have. They may Google and find the map of Toastmasters that looks like chickenpox here in Naperville, because there's so many clubs, right? There's so many dots on that map. How are you going to stand out? How are you going to make people aware that your club exists? Next is about access. Make it clear and easy for them to attend and register for your meetings. So you've got to make that call to action very clear and give them an easy path to access you. Finally, we'll talk about how to close, and that's, again, the goal. We want to make sure we're closing membership, we're getting more members to sign up, sign on the dotted line, and to join your club. Okay, so let's tackle these one at a time and go through some examples. First, about building awareness. So this is a big key, and you can do this very easily. You can do it for free through platforms like Facebook. We have Meetup. Meetup actually costs, but you can, I think there is somewhat of a lower cost version of that. That's actually our premium platform that we use, and we actually pay good for it. It's served us well and gotten us a lot of guests in person. Eventbrite is another option. That's a free option you can use. You can use that for your club meetings. You can use it for workshops. But when you post to those, they post out there on the list and people are able to see them. And then we also have an Instagram. So we'll talk about Instagram and how you can use that as well. So for Facebook, this is our Facebook page, making a page for your club. If you have not done so, it's a free and easy tool you can do. You can get a background image here that we use. This is kind of our brand. We use this red stage here, and then we've got a picture of our club with our group with a lot of members there. And this gives us an ability to post and to reach people and build awareness. We use this. And also there's the about page, making sure you fill out that about page, just giving some information about how people can reach you, your website, if you have an email address, and then maybe a little bit about your club. Pretty simple, should take you about 10 or 15 minutes to set up. Just doing that will go a long, long way. Also photos, you can use this to post photos of your club meeting. So showing people at the club, and we've even got some Zoom pictures here, showing that social proof and that people are actually joining your club meetings and having some fun with this is pretty effective. For Facebook post ideas, something that a lot of my clubs have done in the past is post best table topics. This is a good way to recap the meeting and show somebody winning a ribbon. We've also got an action improv workshop we have here. You can see Noelle running around in a circle, and we have everybody having fun there. So this was a great meeting we had where we were in person. One of the last meetings we were in person, but this is a good photo that we posted here. We also have something unique that we do. We carry around the letters Y-E-S and then the and symbol, and we post a meeting with what we call our improv master. You don't have to have improv to do this. You can do something similar, but making sure you do some kind of a group photo and then maybe posting that on Facebook, that gives us a unique twist. And gives us something to post. So it's another thing that we can post out there. And then group photos are great. You want to show that social proof. Nothing brings a crowd like a crowd. So if you got a big crowd, this is actually our charter meeting here. We had a lot of people that were involved, and that's been a little over, I guess, a year and a half since that. That was fall of 2018. So our club has still flourished pretty well, and this was a way that we continue to bring members in. And then nowadays it's Zoom. So maybe you have to take a screenshot of your computer. This was our meeting this past Thursday. We took a screenshot and we posted this. So right now this is the thing. We're going virtual for a while. Utilize that. Get some people to attend your meetings. Talk to everybody else in the district. Now you have access to way more people to attend your meetings, and reaching out to other Toastmasters and trying to get other people to join. Like we had a couple people join from some of our other clubs in District 54. And we had a good meeting. So again, making sure that you're posting regularly. Try to post a few times a week. Definitely post the day of your meeting to let people know that liked you on Facebook, that you're there and you're having your meeting. So that's Facebook. Next, we have Meetup. Meetup is our premium platform. We actually have about it looks like 237 members in our group. We get about 5 guests a meeting almost when we're in person with Meetup. Right now it won't be as powerful, obviously, since we're all at home. But I have switched our meeting to say Zoom virtual meeting. And when people register, I'm just sending them out that Zoom link for our meeting. So Meetup has been a good tool for us. Depending on your location, I've been a member of other clubs in other towns, and Meetup wasn't as powerful, but in Naperville it has been pretty strong. So Meetup is another option for you. Making sure also that you have some details on your meeting about what it's about. I've actually got some sales copy that I wrote. Really, this is kind of like a speech. You engage them in the beginning, ask some questions, provide them with some things that they'll gain from becoming a Toastmaster. And I'll actually provide you with this text here. Then you can again take it, tweak it, make it your own. I'll show you the web page that I have that on as a Word document, and you can use that for your own Meetup page or your Facebook page or your Eventbrite. Which brings me to another platform we have here is Eventbrite. We use this for a workshop. This actually attracts a lot of people. We gained about 5 members from one workshop of this, and that about 30 people joined. And just providing some testimonials gets people to join. So all types of things that you can do here with social media for free to gain some awareness, and then providing a little bit about you. So Instagram's our last one. I don't run our Instagram. Our VP of PR does that, and she does a great job. She put like a frequently asked questions box here so people can learn more about it. And she's regularly posting based on our meetings with just some images. So pretty easy to do and also free. Some other platforms you can use are Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Pinterest. LinkedIn would be a good one. We don't really use that, but that would be a good one since Toastmasters is professional. You can create a club page and also reach out to people through post. Another very important piece is making sure you connect it. This is our website. So we have our social media links here connected. So make sure that you do that so that people know how to access that and engage with your social media posts. This is a way you can do that. If you're on the free Toast Host site, we've also got that option there as well. There's a social media within the admin that you can add those links to your page. Makes it a lot easier for people to, again, connect with you. Once they follow you on Facebook or they join your meetup or they follow like your Instagram, now when you're posting, they're seeing that more often. When I was able to go outside of my apartment and actually go somewhere, when I would go to the gym, they always had advertisements up. It's at Lifetime Fitness about shoes and things like that. And the only reason I knew that brand of shoes is because I walked by that thing almost every day when I was going to the treadmill, every single day. So the more you post, the more people see you, the more they'll know you exist, to build the awareness. And then you're more likely to get them to attend and join your club, or to join at least a meeting. So that's what your goal is here with awareness. Okay, so we talked about building awareness through Facebook, Meetup, Eventbrite, and Instagram. We also talked about some other platforms you can use like Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn. So choose what works best for you. What's worked best for us are these four. Meetup primarily for in-person meetings. Facebook is also great because right now I think a lot more people, I don't know the stats, but I know a lot more people are probably on Facebook right now, especially with everything going on. So people are on social media, they're on their phones more. I know I've used my phone more, sadly, and I've just noticed it. So it's a lot of people are doing the same. So take advantage at least to make them aware of your meeting. Okay, so now that we've gotten through awareness, now we go to access, making it clear. And this is actually one of the easier steps, but often left out, where people don't actually do these things for clubs. So you want to, on your club website, you want to have a clear call to action. Very important. You want to have a button or something where they know that they can register or find your meeting. So very important. We'll look at that. You can use social media events as well. So we talked about Facebook, Meetup, and Eventbrite. Those all have event platforms through them. So you can create your meeting as an event with within one of those platforms. And that's how you can gauge registration for people, because people are more likely to attend if they register. If they say they're going to attend and they don't register and they're not getting reminder emails, they probably won't attend. There's a good chance that they won't. So using that as well. Contact form, making sure that you're answering those contact forms through Toastmasters and through your website. And then making it clear of how to join or attend your meetings, whether it's virtual or in person. Okay, so for us, this is our club. I built this website using something called WordPress. If you've never heard of it, it's just a content management system. So I built this through that. I have a join meeting button up here in the header, and I have an attend virtual meeting here right on the front page, making it very easy for people to click and then attend the meeting and register. So a lot of people don't have this button. If you go to some websites, they don't even have a call to action button. If you don't have a call to action, people are going to go to your website. They're not going to know what to do. You need to make it clear. You need to make it concise on how they're going to attend. You got to tell them what to do, basically. So also on Free Toast Host, if you don't have another website, we have the pop-up floater message here that you can do. And I've added this recently to our Toast Host website to make it easy for people to find the virtual meeting. I'll quickly show you here on the slides how to do that. If you have admin access in Toast Host, you can go to the admin console and simply go to your floater message here. And then you can enter a message for non-members, and you can even do so for members. And what I've done is I've created that registration link for our website and put a sign up link there. But you could put a link to your Facebook page for a Facebook event. You could put a link to your Meetup page, or a Meetup event, or even Eventbrite. So you have options there or if you're using Zoom and you have like a webinar platform like this, you can do a registration link as well. What I would caution against is providing the actual meeting link for Zoom, because I've heard there's what are called Zoom bombers out there. They're joining meetings for people and they're terrorizing them and showing inappropriate things in the screen sharing. I found a good article that that I can share with Noel that maybe he can distribute on some ways that you can avoid that. You can control who's sharing their screen, you can control who's chatting, all that stuff. So there's some good tools out there. So I would be careful. So what we do is we actually have a registration link. Once they register, then it brings up the Zoom link. So at least they have to take that extra step to put in their name. So I'll show you that. Also, again, events, you can use Meetup. This is a way that we use events for our Meetup page. Eventbrite, again, is an easy way, a free way to create events. And Facebook, we don't use this anymore. We did it first. This didn't work as well for us because we had Meetup. That's kind of where we were focusing. But if you're not using Meetup, this works very well as long as you're pushing it out and advertising it. So you can create events here with the date, the any information on the meeting, and anything you got. Contact. So make sure you have a contact form of some sort. We have this on our website, also through free Toast host, where members can, or where guests can contact. So through Toast host, you can have a contact us here, and you can choose, and the person can put their name, email, and a message. Make sure that you do set this up though. Within the admin panel, you can go to the email and contact forms if you have the admin access, and you can choose who that contact form is going to. I'm the webmaster, also treasurer for our club, so I just have my name in there. You can choose an exact member, and then you can choose officer roles as well, so that this will always go to the president and the vice president of membership. So Garrett Gray would get this as president, and then Dan, who's actually on this call, he would get this as well if we did get a contact through our website here on Toast Host. You can also create templates within Gmail. I don't know if anybody's ever played with that. I'll actually show that in our live demo and how that works. If you're using just regular Gmail through the Gmail, Google, just in your web browser, you have the ability to turn on templates. So I've created a template here that I send to people when we get that contact that comes in. Basically just replace their name with Tom and put when the next meeting is. And I've actually got this text again in our resources that I will share with you. So you can, again, take this, tweak it, make it your own, put your club name in there and all your information. So this is, once we get that contact, it's very easy for me to just add that template to the reply, change the name up and maybe the next meeting, and then click send. It takes 5 seconds to do. We've gained just tremendous growth just from answering those contacts. So it's very important that you make that access easy as people ask questions. Okay, and then make the instructions clear. So we have a guest registration page. I just actually made this because of the recent events, and we're using virtual. Meetup was typically how we would have people register, so we would point them there because that's where we would kind of funnel everybody to for guests to join the meeting. But this is a way that we have done this now. I just created a simple form within my website, and they put their name, email, and then I asked them if they want to join our mailing list so we can continue following up with them, which you'll want to make sure that they do opt into that before you start doing that. And once they fill this out, it will provide them with our Zoom link to our meeting. So they've actually got to make some steps to do that, to get that. And then I monitor as they come in and make sure that they're not spammer Zoom bombers, and we get rid of them. But this is how you can make that process pretty clear. And then once they register, they'll get the link. Also, if we're talking in person, make sure that you make the directions clear to where your building is and what door they need to go in. So if you have something complicated, like I know a club that meets at a hospital, they're on the second floor, so you got to go in an elevator. They have signs up that kind of point them in the direction. Making sure you also have this on your website, very important. Make it clear, make it easy for them to access your club. It sounds simple, but it's missing in some places for sure. So whether it's your website or we also have this on our homepage, we show these directions. We also have it on our footer. So it's on our footer, we keep it everywhere. And in Toast Host, so if you're using Toast Host, make sure it's there. If you're just using that, there's the meeting and directions panel, and then you can put the directions there along with a Google map to show people what your club looks like. Okay, cool. So if you have questions on that, we'll talk about that in the Q&A if anybody needs help with that piece. Okay, so again, just a quick recap, making the access clear. So clear call to action, use the social media events to allow people to sign up easily, very important. Utilize a contact form of some sort so that people can contact you. There's also one directly through Toastmasters International that links to your club. I get a lot through there as well. Make sure you have that set up correctly. If you need help with that, reach out to the district, let us know. We'll give you some help with that. And then finally, make the instructions clear. So make it clear how they have to sign up, how they have to find your meeting when this all goes back to normal, so that they can access the building. Okay, we talked about awareness. We talked about how to access. Let's talk about how to close, how to get new members. So this is a very broad level. There's obviously more details to this, but I'm just gonna talk about a few key points here that will help you close the deal. Make sure you provide some kind of a welcome packet with an application. I know that sounds simple again, but make sure that they can access an application, because if they can't, it's gonna be that much harder for them to register and sign up for your club. So make sure in person that you have this. You can create a digital welcome packet for right now since we are virtual. So you can create maybe a folder or a page on your website, or some kind of files and downloads from your Toast Host site, just something so that they're able to access that, or you can email it to them on follow-up. Get some testimonials from your club members. This is something that's very powerful because it provides social proof. Like when you buy on Amazon, what used to take 2 to 3 days now takes 2 to 3 weeks. But you would always look at reviews, right? And if there's 5-star reviews, that's what you want to see on your products that you're looking to buy. So that's very important. Use PayPal or something similar, like I think there's Square or some of those other ones that you can use as well. We use PayPal. We actually have a PayPal reader I had right here. I got a prop. Ooh. So PayPal is much, much easier for us, and actually probably 90% of our members pay with PayPal because they pay with credit card. And then we get a few people that pay with checks, and I get cash every now and then. Also email follow-ups with drip marketing. So that's something we'll go over and how that works. Okay, so application, there's a PDF application out there at Toastmasters. This is actually, they can fill this out digitally. You can see that there's fields here. So it's very easy for them to fill out. Just make sure you get them this application. Make sure you email it to them afterwards, or if you're in person, make sure that you print it and bring it for them in a folder. Testimonials, there's actually some built in right into Toast Host if you can't get any. So they're actually right in here. You can add them right to your site on your homepage of Toast Host. And that's a good way to show people what Toastmasters is about. These are real people that have agreed to be added to that. So you can use that for your site. We've got this right on ours. Or you can get some from your members and add those as well. PayPal, the setup it can be complicated. So make sure that you get instructions on this. I'm not going to go over all the instructions here just because that's a little bit long. But as long as you have a club bank account for your Toastmaster club, you should be able to get PayPal pretty easily. And once you sign up for that, if you can apply to become a nonprofit status, which is how I got these PayPal readers. They gave me 2 for free. Didn't even have to pay for them. They just send them over since you're a nonprofit. And that also lowers the fee per payment. So check into PayPal, because you can add a PayPal button right in Toast Host into the dues section very easily for members to easily be able to renew. So that's, and you can also create pages from PayPal where people can renew virtually, which is definitely effective, or send invoices through PayPal. There's all types of things that you can do with it to make it easier for people to pay. Because you don't want any kind of those barriers in the way, because that could cause somebody to second guess eventually and then never join. And then drip marketing, we actually use MailChimp. Sadly, MailChimp no longer allows the free account to do drip marketing. They don't do automated emails anymore. Luckily for us, that we still get to do it since we were on there originally. But if you didn't have a MailChimp account, you didn't have this set up as a campaign, they no longer allow it. But what drip marketing is, for those of you who don't know, is a set of automated emails that will go to somebody once they enter a sequence. So they would sign up for a list, and then they would get this thanks for attending the meeting. And then 6 days later, we send them a second email with some information about the club. And then finally, we send them an email to tell them to attend again. So not too many emails, but just 3 over the course of 2 weeks was our sequence. And that got a lot of people to return, because it goes back to awareness. You're building awareness, you're providing information. It's a way to nurture them and educate them on Toastmasters. So I'll actually go through this a little bit and show you how this works. I'm going to do a quick live demo here. Let's go here to, so if you go to yesandtoastmasters.org/resources, I provided a couple things here. One of those things is some email templates. So if you click the email templates here, it will actually download these as a folder, which you can then click. And this will come up over here. Let me get another monitor here. Let me switch this over here. Okay, so, oh, I got full screen on. Okay, here's what it will look like. So we've got a couple different documents here that you'll have access to. There's 3 different drip emails that I've included here. So here is the first email, and I've got this built so you can just enter your club name in some of this parts, and you can take this, again, tweak it, make it your own, change the text around, make it shorter, make it longer, do whatever you want to do with it. This is just a way to say, hey, Tom, you know, thanks for coming to the meeting. Here's a little bit about Toastmasters. Here's where we meet. Again, just to remind you, come a little bit early, we can give you some info. So this is a way to say, you know, thanks for joining, a personalized looking email that you can use. And you can put this, copy this right into your Gmail as a template and even schedule to send it. So there's a lot of good tools there that you can use. And then there's a second email in our sequence that we use. And this is a check-in maybe a week later to say, hey, hope you're doing well, and to give them some information on pathways. So here's where we're nurturing and educating them on some things that can help them become better. So I've created a link here to the pathways on the Toastmasters site that gives that overview on how that works. And then just a reminder that we exist and that you should come back. So they enjoy the meeting, they'll hopefully return. And then finally, our third email is just before the meeting. You probably want to send this the maybe day before the meeting. Just another reminder that we're here, just a short email. This could get them to join. So actually, you know, we got a couple members right away with this when we were trying to charter new people. This worked really well to engage them and get them involved with our club. So here they are. And then finally, another email that you'll get here is our contact form email. So when somebody does email to contact you on the club, this is that email I showed earlier. This is the kind of the template version where you can fill it in. And again, change this to fit your club and fit your environment. But this even gives the price, because I think it's fine to be upfront about the price. Price is not very expensive, so they'll see that, and then they'll come to the club and realize how much worth it really is, and how much it can do for them. So let's kind of show how this works here. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to show you how to build a email template real quick. Okay, so I'm using Gmail. So if you're using Outlook, that's a little bit easier. You can save a template if you're familiar with that. Also, Apple Mail, that's pretty easy to make templates, so you may need to look that up. But most people use Gmail, so I figured this is a pretty universal platform, so I'll show how that works real quick. I'm going to click the settings here in my tab, and I'm going to go to, again, settings. And there's an advanced tab here. There's a couple different sections here. Advanced is when we want, and you can turn on templates because they're not going to be on by default. You'll have to actually go in and enable those and turn those on. So once you do turn those on within your email, you'll be able to create a template. So now I'll go back. So now I'm going to compose a new email here. And on the bottom right, you'll see these 3 dots where you see that there's more options. And now you should see a templates tab. So this is a new feature here that you can now access. So before I do that, I'm going to copy and paste that email real quick. So here's that email from Word that I had that I shared with you. You can, fill this in how you want it to be. Put your club name, put your name, put your officer role. Make sure you put your meeting and location, any instructions that are needed to find the meeting, and then the next meeting date. And then change any of this that you want to as you want to do it. Once you have the email where you want it, and then also create some kind of a subject, I can make it that. On the bottom right, if you click the 3 dots here, go to templates, and then you can save this as a template. And if you had another one that you wanted to overwrite, you could overwrite it, or you can save it as a new template. And now this will be easier to bring up every time that you do it. So now it's saved as a template. So if you get that email from someone, hey, I'm interested in your club. What are you guys all about? How do I join? You can reply to that email, and using the 3 dots here, you can pull up your new template that you just made. There it is. Their recipient name will be in there. And then you can actually schedule and send this. If you want to schedule your own drip marketing, you can create schedule send using the, oh, gotta have a person here. Put myself. So now we can schedule to send this out for whenever we want. So if you want to do your drip marketing, you can schedule all 3 of those emails to a guest right from here easily, and they'll automatically go to those guests. No need to pay for MailChimp if you don't want to, because MailChimp, I think the cheapest plan is about $15 a month if you want to get those automated campaigns. I don't know if you want to pay that. It might be a little bit easier just to create those emails on your own right here through Gmail. And then that way you're able to just schedule those right after the day after the meeting, and then they'll all go out over the course of the next 2 weeks. So just a way for you to do that. Again, check out some of these resources here. It's also the club description, which we use for our meetup, and also for Eventbrite, you can use that. I've also got a club flyer here for when we get to go back outside. That you can go hang up at Starbucks or wherever to get people to attend your physical meeting. So there's that for you as well as a bonus. Okay, so at this point, let me go back to my PowerPoint here and just do a quick recap of that section. We talked about how to make sure you provide that application for members or guests that come into the meeting. Make sure you make that process easy for them to sign up. Provide testimonials on your website and on your marketing materials. Make sure people know why they should join Toastmasters. And a way that you may want to talk to them, and what I usually say to the guests is, hey, you know what? You can come as often as you like as a guest, as many times as you want. But if you want to take your skills to the next level and access the Pathways education system to make yourself a better speaker and leader, then at that point you can sign on the dotted line whenever it's working for you. And that has seemed to work. We've got a lot of people that have actually joined after I've said that, and after Dan has talked to them as our VP of membership and has said that. We don't really do a hard close on them. We do kind of a soft sell, but there are other people I've seen do that, that close to say, join right now, and I've seen that work too. So do what fits best for your culture and your club. Remember to use PayPal for easy payment. Make it easy, some kind of digital payment platform. And then finally, make sure to follow up with emails, and you can use drip marketing as a way to do that. Okay, so at this point, I wanted to check in to see if we have any questions before we finish up here. Does anybody have any questions? And Noel, if you want to feed or let me know, because I can't see the control panel, so I have my PowerPoint up.
Michael, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Kind of.
Okay.
Oh, there you are. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, so my question is sometimes people want to get out of Facebook, like I did sometimes. So what do you do with people who are not on Facebook? How can they get in contact with the club? Because I know that we used to do. I think you guys still do it. Like the emails they used to send out to just Toastmasters.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm trying to say, if someone does not have Facebook, what do you recommend for the membership person to do? If they don't use it, or if they don't use it for a while and then they come back?
Sure. Yeah, so if they're not on Facebook, that might not be uncommon. Some people aren't on Facebook, that's for sure. Likely they email. So you want to stay in contact with them through email, I would say, is the best method. Find out if they're on Meetup or anything else, but if they're not on Facebook, they're probably not on Meetup, I would bet. So email would probably be the best way. Just stay in contact with them through email. Give them your phone number. Tell them if they want to call anytime to ask questions, they can do that. As long as you feel comfortable doing that, giving away your number. But email, I would say, for sure. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Daniel. Anybody else have any questions?
Mike, that was a really great presentation, and the amount of information you gave us was outstanding and so well put together as well. So I want to give you a round of applause for a fantastic presentation.
Thank you. Thanks, Stella.
I think that possibly my question would be is, how do we get the word out there that Toastmasters can be the venue, the platform where we can actually learn to master our skills in virtual meetings? Because I think that that's the way we're going to be going in the future. Even after this is kind of blown over, I'd be surprised if we don't, get more people involved because of the virtual. How do we get that word out there? I mean, what great language can we use?
Good question. And I can tell you for sure, it definitely helps. I do virtually for a living, so doing the virtual meeting wasn't difficult for me. But I know people that don't do this often probably get a little nervous. It's different than standing up in front of people. When you're sitting in front of your computer, you can't see everything. It's definitely different. We talked about awareness. Awareness is a big key. Another way to build awareness that we didn't really go over is content creation. Things like blogging, and maybe it is to create a campaign of awareness to say, because when you build an awareness campaign in content strategy for like a website or a business, typically your awareness starts with making your audience aware of something, and that could be a belief or something that you believe is true, that your company has an opinion on, or that you can help them with. So when it comes to Toastmasters, maybe putting the belief in people that they can become better at virtual meetings by joining Toastmasters and joining these virtual meetings. So putting it out there and spending time building multiple, posts and social media and content, striving around that idea of virtual meetings can, in Toastmasters can really help you become more marketable as someone, for your career in business.
Because I see it this platform, and I think Toastmasters is the perfect opportunity to get to a point where you are so good at it, because we work so hard to develop people so that they're really good on presentations and really good at emceeing events or actually giving speeches or presentations at work. This is the perfect program for this, and I think that this is going to create another superhighway for us, and to build the opportunities for that. Maybe we all can post on LinkedIn, where we all have profiles on it, and we could just say, hey, you want to get really good at your next virtual meeting with the boss? And boom, all of a sudden you get this opportunity to do this. Just like when we do have speeches and you have evaluations, each evaluation is there to help you and motivate you to do a better job. Mm-hmm. Toastmasters can definitely do that for us here.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Virtual meetings.
And I think that's a good campaign, how you want to become better in your job virtually. Toastmasters will help you do that. I think it's an article, it's an image of some sort on a blog post or a social media post, and it needs to just that repetition of getting out there and getting, reminding people of it. Just posting it once is not enough. You got to post it often. You got to remind people over and over again. Just like me, when I was going to the gym and I kept seeing the shoes, the brand of shoes that there were, the ASICs or whatever it was. I saw that every single day because I kept walking by it. So it's just getting it out there, getting in their head over and over again is what's key.
Yeah. So I think it takes a little bit of work, but the outreach can really pay off in a big time. So I think we've got a lot of work to do, to be honest with you, but we can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then building off that awareness, the people that you do get to reach on that, maybe engaging them with surveys, getting testimonials from people in Toastmasters about how it's helped them, building that social proof, and then putting it on the District 30 Toastmaster website, getting it out there for people to see it and use that as your campaign, all those things. I think that would definitely help.
And actually even reaching out to HR departments and say, so how many virtual meetings do you have today? How many did you have 3 months ago? How would you like us to help your people get better at that?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's opening a lot of doors for sure. Cool. Thanks, Stella.
Thank you.
So, Michael, do you have any suggestions for corporate clubs? Because I know that what we focused quite a lot on this was definitely on the community clubs. How about organizations that really doesn't allow them to do social media? What are other avenues that they can do their drip marketing? So within their own company, how would you suggest because I mean I can see you can get that template that you have on your Gmail, just copy and paste and then send it through whatever their email system is at work, like Outlook or something.
Yeah, so that's a whole different animal with corporate clubs, because obviously the marketing is different. They're not. I mean, they probably have a social media site and they could use that, but another way could be to create some kind of incentives for their employees to join. And if they're all working at home, it makes it a little bit easier for everybody to get that on the schedule, get it on the calendar to join the weekly or bi-weekly Toastmaster meeting for the company. Gosh, if I had employees, I'd make it required, but that's just if I were the boss. But if I was trying to get more people to join my corporate club, definitely some kind of an incentive program and also to let them know how much it would make them advance in their career and their job. So you're not going to get everybody to join, but I think you can get a good amount of people, depending on the industry, obviously.
I will make a comment though. I just did a quick search on Meetup, at least just on my phone, trying to see what other clubs that they have set up in there. And I've noticed the ones that actually write something, and you're right about the copyright that you have in describing what Toastmasters is or what our club is, because ours show that there's like at least 9 people attending our meeting, through Meetup. There are some meetups that I've seen, meetup groups, and just if you type in search for Toastmasters, it will list their meetings, and some of them only have like 2 people attending, which is most likely the person who organized it and the person who's helping, and that's about it.
Yeah.
How do you come up with like that copyright so people are like, oh, I want to come visit your club? It's an actual club.
Yeah, good question. Really, it's just about, it's almost like a speech, right? Like I say any speech should talk to the audience. You want to talk to the audience, and that's what our copy does. If you look at the beginning, we're engaging them with questions. And really the big question is, have you ever been afraid of public speaking? Sure, most of us have, right? And that's why we joined Toastmasters. And there's a lot more people out there. They say that the fear of public speaking is ranked over death. And I think Jerry Seinfeld said it best. He said, people would rather be in the casket than give the eulogy, right? That's literally how public speaking is. So engaging with their fear of it and telling them that we can help them. And that's the big key. And that's kind of what we use. So it's really engaging them with a question or two, telling them who you are, and then telling them what they're going to get out of joining the club or attending, which is, think and speak on your feet, build confidence, build leadership, be a better speaker, communicator. Tell them exactly what they're going to get if they join. And when they get there, they're going to see a bunch of people that can speak, because, at first they may not have been as good. Now they are. Now they're a lot better because they had joined. So once they walk in the room, they're going to see the social proof, as long as you got people attending your meetings. So I would say, yeah, engaging them with that, and then also making it easy for them to attend is important.
One of the things I was just thinking about, Mike, as you were speaking and interacting with Noel, was, once this virus is over with, it would be great for District 30 to host in-person training for doing virtual meetings, because I think some people may actually, the ones that are not that familiar with technology, the ones that really don't embrace it, maybe they could be part of that part where they can actually get involved and see themselves on a screen and all that kind of stuff. And I thought maybe from that kind of, it derived a thought that came to my mind. You talked about, you talk about the concept of being a wedding planner, where you actually are planning a wedding. Well, you could become a professional virtual meeting planner, and where you can actually learn how to be the host and how to drive the meeting and putting people in the right place and calling to order and stuff like that. This is going to really excel to another great way of learning new tools.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of things are gonna be created. We're gonna have new toilet paper companies, new hand sanitizer companies, and yeah, God, new virtual meeting platforms for sure, and ways of doing it. I'll tell you what, Zoom has been just outstanding compared to the others that I've used. It's definitely been smooth. Yeah, I think there's definitely something there for sure where people could learn to be better at this and teach others to be better. I think that would be cool for a workshop, for a conference, right? Or a TLI.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Michael, so question for you. So I know what the answer to this is, but I'm going to share this with the audience. Who responds to all those marketing that you've done? Because the club is on Meetup, the club is on Facebook, the club is on Instagram, the club is on, plus the emails that we get from Toastmasters. Who does the response?
We have a mixture of us doing that, actually. I do a lot of it. Dan, who's actually here, Prohaska, he does some of that too. Garrett does a lot of our Facebook stuff. You and I kind of control Meetup. We kind of have split the efforts around. And then our public relations person, Erin, she also gets the emails too and does Instagram. So yeah, kind of all of us collectively, which may be good or bad, but I think it's good because when one person can't answer, at least somebody else can get it. We're communicating to make sure that gets answered.
Yeah, absolutely. And Noelle and I are probably grinning from cheek to cheek because when we went to mid-year training, we found out how low of a percentage that people really get back to people that are interested in to visit a club. I believe it was less than 15% actually get back to. And
they were saying that was from Toastmasters, right?
Yeah. And I think that, and I kind of made a statement that I don't know if I really was out of place, whatever. I said there should be almost an automatic feedback place that you can actually get involved in to get a response from TI at least. We see your inquiry. We're going to get back to you. We're going to reach with you on what's the next step, next connection to get it onto a club. But we'll see what happens with that development.
So for the audience,
this is Dan. I just want to jump in real quick and kind of add on to what Mike and Noelle were saying. But, Stella, I think the key to all of this, and Mike is amazing at the technology. There's no question about it. He's a wizard at making all this happen, but it's really dedicated leadership is really the real point of it, because you can teach a lot of this stuff, but you got to want to learn it. And I don't know how you take it to that next level, because we are really very fortunate to have Mike and Noelle in our group, and Garrett, the team that really has driven this thing from the beginning. That's, to me, the interesting question as I sit back and kind of look at this, because you can teach the technology, you can teach the tools, but to your point, how do you teach people to respond to it? How do you teach people to want to be able to do it? And that, I don't really know the answer to that, and maybe there's a seminar around that, but it's really a leadership thing. You've got to want to do it. You've got to want it. You guys eat it. You love it. You just devour it and you make it happen. And it's extraordinarily impressive. You far exceed, anything that I've seen really in business as well as in a club. The fact that you don't get paid to do this and you do it at the level that you do it is extraordinary. So hats off. But it's not just to say that as hats off. It's like, how do you take it? How do you capture that in a bottle, and transfer that to other clubs? You've got to find people with the passion, and that may be the bigger secret than anything else. So,
our incentive is we double our salary.
Really, from 0 to 0, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I think testimonials come into play there. I think when people actually make a few comments and give testimonial, I mean, they think that adds a great deal of value to that.
Well, I agree. And I think maybe even doing what we're doing here, only to a bigger audience, to get people excited and motivated, that maybe, Mike, doing what you're doing, getting out in front of a lot of people, because That's inspirational, truly.
Yeah, it's.
And actually,
Go ahead,
ahead,
Sal.
Mike.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say this is being recorded, so we are going to post it on our website, and the individuals who are not able to get on it can actually listen to this, because Mike, you did a great job. I mean, your slides are phenomenal, and the way you ran through it so perfectly, what a great example that we will be treasuring for a long time. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then Dan, to answer your question, you're right. You know, people have to want to do it. Sometimes they don't maybe know that it exists and know that they want to do it. I guess this whole thing is Toastmasters makes them aware of that. One thing I've noticed is that when you ask, sometimes when you ask people too soon when they join Toastmasters to step up to an officer role or to do something, sometimes they can push them away. Sometimes they're not ready for that, you know, and that's why in the clubs I've always been involved in, I try not to be high pressure with people, even with guests. You know, if you have a guest that comes in the room and you're doing table topics, never pressure the guests to come. In my mind, in my perspective, never pressure them to come up. Make it their choice, because it was probably hard enough for them to come to the meeting in the first place. It's really about awareness. The people have to be around for a while and learn what it's all about and learn why it's important. But probably most clubs that you go to, as long as the founders are there or people that have been there a while, they'll want to learn how to do this stuff, I think. And that's the key. That's the audience, is the leaders of the clubs, the ones that want to build a good club but just don't know the steps on how to do so, or just need help and guidance with that.
Well, what you've created is a great, really a package almost. It's like, here's the package, and you can just unpack it and go, here's all the things that you can do. Boom, 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 boom. And that's, boy, that kind of a thing. If you want to do it, you provided the tools. So hats off.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. So if there are no more questions, I was going to go over a recap here. Noel, did you have something else?
I just wanted to check with Brian Quick and Ralph Beller, who are who joined us. Brian Quick from Naperville. Not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah, that's okay, Ralph. So Ralph Beller's from Des Plaines Toastmaster, and then Brian Quick is from Naperville Riverwalk. I wanted to check with them if they had any questions that they'd like to ask.
Well, since I didn't hear most of it, and I was really wanting to find out better ways to market, Michael, you mentioned about having slides, which of course will be displayed on the recap. But is there a chance to get some of these slides, if they're really like pinpoint ideas, in advance, like directly by email?
Yes, I've got a resources page on our website that I'm going to show in a minute. I'll add the slides to that page. They're not there now, but I will add them, because I was making edits to them before I started this, so I didn't post them out there yet. But I will put them there. And
because I find it's always easiest to have a cookie cutter that's in writing rather than trying to remember what you heard.
Yeah, so the slides, they may not have all the steps and everything. You'll probably need the most of the presentation with that as well. So Noel is going to be, they've recorded this, and he'll be providing a recording to this. So I think that'll help you a little bit more, but I'll put the slides up anyway just so you have them, and that way you can use those too.
Because we're going to have our first...
I took notes. I took notes, Mike. Look at this.
Oh, awesome.
That's how much I learned today.
Good.
And Ralph, just to help you out also, just to let you know, so Michael mentioned that this can be found at the Yes and Toastmasters website. So at the end of this, what I'm going to do is, after you have a chance to upload it to the Yes and Toastmasters website, is on that virtual courses, Ralph.
Yep.
Just like how we have the document that's listed in there, is I will provide the link for Yes and Toastmasters resources page. Okay. So you can always refer back to it. So it'll always be there in the virtual courses on marketing.
Okay, because I'm the marketing public relations person for about the third year in a row. And I'm also the webmaster for about the 6th year in a row.
Well, good. Yeah, good.
Media, Facebook guy who doesn't doing a good job for 3 years.
Okay, well, I hope this helped you. Yeah, Noel will provide that video or the replay to this too. So yeah, you'll have that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yep.
Good.
Brian, did you have any questions?
No, I mean, now that link will be up, I can look back on things and go over. It's just getting used to the new formats. And I mean, the Windy City Club I'm with, you know, they're doing a Zoom meeting right now. We've had a few of those, so I'm getting used to some of the things in regards to that. And it's just like the meetup stuff, just have better, you know, verbiage in there just to entice people to, you know, visit. But now I thought it was interesting, Michael, you talked about the the Zoom bombers or whatever, that people just, I mean, what the hell, you know, people got nothing better to do than, hey, let's just screw this up. Or, I mean, come on, man, you know?
Yeah, that's how it is. It's always somebody.
I tell you. So it's interesting. Don't just put the link up to meet, you know, have a link to get it, but make it go through at least an extra step to get the link, to get the meeting. That was probably the most interesting thing I learned out of that, because otherwise I would like, because I've thought about that, maybe we should just post that. I go, after hearing that, I go, maybe not. So,
Yeah, I told people stop sharing because I don't want a bunch of people jumping in my Zoom account that I don't know.
yeah.
And just to let you know, Brian, quick, this was actually also a question that one of the contestants asked. We've been having contestant drive run-throughs, and somebody asked, like, well, don't you guys worry about Zoom bombers? And I told them, the way Stella and I set up these contests is there's a waiting room, and then you have to pre-register. So the pre-registering, we got their email. They can't possibly get it unless they have an email that's attached to it. And then the second part about it is the waiting room is we recognize who the people are coming in, and we let them in, and we have the power to send them out.
Got it.
So that's one of the extra layers of security that Mike mentioned, because I didn't believe that, you know, why would people do that? And apparently in District 54, they've had several Zoom bombers, which kind of blew me away.
Just annoying that that's actually a thing. Okay, so I'm going to finish up here just because we're at the hour mark. I'm going to do a quick review. We talked about the 3 steps to building your club, which I call AAC. That's awareness, access, and close. We talked about how to build awareness through social media. Make sure you're posting, and choose your platform or choose multiple platforms. Like I said, for us, Facebook has been a big one, and Meetup. Those are our two main ones. We'll also use Eventbrite and Instagram. Make sure you provide clear access to your club meetings. Create a register button. Create some kind of an event through social media where you can do Facebook or Eventbrite. Very, very important. Make it easy for the guests to access your meeting. Don't expect them to just know how to show up. You gotta provide the clear path. Make it easy. And then make sure it's easy to close. So you want to make sure that they have a way to pay. And PayPal is a good way to do that. You can set one up for your club. So that's a powerful way to get payment from people. We tack on an extra $2 for credit card payments. That covers the fee typically. That's what I would recommend, because you're going to get a little bit of a fee if you use it. We did some Q&A, and then for your next steps, which I'll show you here in a minute. Learning objectives, again, we talked about awareness. We talked about how to build that clear path to access your club. And then I hope I created a mindset to help you close, to make it easier for people to pay. And then we talked a little bit about drip marketing and how that works, and then using PayPal to make those easy payments. So I hope those learning objectives were fulfilled to everybody. You can, our next steps here, post on social media, make sure you do that. Make it easy for guests to sign up for your meetings, and then make it easy for them to join by providing an application. You can get those resources at yesandtoastmasters.org/resources. It'll look like this. You can access those. Each of those the email templates are here that we talked about. You can use those, take them, tweak them, make them your own for your club, and fill in your names and everything, and change anything you want on them. They're yours to play with. The club description will provide you with the sales copy you can use for your social media or your website to describe your meeting. And then for when we get to go back outside and be in person, there's a club flyer there that you can use to post all over Starbucks or libraries or wherever you want to. Just fill in your club name and all that. Thanks everybody for joining. Again, I'm Area West 72 Director, so I appreciate everybody attending today. If you have any questions, you can email me, michaeljscampini@gmail.com. Thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Hasta la vista,
Thank you so much.
baby.
Thanks, Mike. That was great. Very good job.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Michael.
it. Thanks for joining, guys.
Okay. For everybody, just if you're still in the call, we will be sending up the link as soon as it's uploaded on the cloud, and we will be providing the link shortly. At this time, we're headed off to the area contest for C14. So, everybody, we will see you in
What time
in a
is
few.
that? Noel, what time
Oh,
does
it's
that
at
contest start?
7:30. So I'm going to sign on at
7:30.
7:15.
Good luck, guys.
All right.
Have fun.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you.
Night.
Good night.